Improve shoulder endurance for boxing.
What ways can boxers prevent and recover from shoulder impingement injuries and shoulder endurance issues, especially in lead hooks and jabs? So this is quite common in boxing. How to try and prevent injuries of the lead shoulder and also to try and improve shoulder muscular endurance. First of all, the reason why the lead shoulder gets a lot of injuries, a lot of endurance issues is because it's used a lot more and a lot different to the rear hand. So the lead hand is used more of an arm punch rather than a rear hand, because basically with the rear hand, you've got the trunk rotation adding into it. It almost comes through as a whip, and the shoulder doesn't really get used towards that back end. It almost comes all the way from the lower body through the trunk, and then the arm is quite relaxed until impact. Whereas the lead hand is not supported as much through rotation, even in hooks, but particularly when we're using it for the jab. It's only like a little bit of a rotation, but it's more of an arm shot rather than the backhand. Also, it's used a lot more often. It could be a 3-to-1, 4-to-1 ratio between the lead hand and the backhand usage. And actually, in recent fight statistics, looking at Bivol versus Bertbiev, they use their lead hand 70 to 75% of the time rather than the backhand. So almost like 3-to-1 ratio using competitive scenario. Whereas like a lot of the drills are often lead hand only. A lot of the sparring, lead hand only. The lead hand gets to use a lot more. So this is a reason why this becomes quite tight, because it's used more of an arm punch and also it's used more often. So this is why we end up with shoulder impingement issues, because we end up being quite tight in the anterior complex, tight in the traps, and not as developed in the rotator cuffs and in the posterior shoulder complex. So what we need to do there is start to use some mobility drills to make sure that we're working on external rotation, working on overhead range of motion as well. Look to do some soft tissue release work in the pec area to try and increase that range of motion, and then also try and improve the strength of the posterior shoulder muscles. Reverse flies, single arm reverse flies, prone T-raises, and also some overhead variations, TRX Y-raise, and prone dumbbell Y-raise as well. You can also do some banded face pulls, some band pull aparts, everything to just target the posterior shoulder muscle. We can go a little bit more bespoke, a little bit more complex, but from a general rule of thumb, most boxers just need to increase that range of motion and to try and improve the strength of the posterior shoulder muscles. So improving the mobility and stability around this shoulder joint can help prevent injuries, but it can also help reduce muscular endurance issues. We can reduce the activation on just a single muscle. So this anterior shoulder complex here is getting overused a lot because of the lack of activation and strength through the posterior shoulder. So this is why you see a lot of boxers struggling with that shoulder muscular endurance. Another reason would be because of strength issues, because even though that the shoulders are well developed, they can't be overloaded as much because of the shoulder range of motion, shoulder stability, affecting the amount of load when doing strength and conditioning exercises. So this is why at Boxing Science we look at helping improve strength, because this will obviously help improve the health of the shoulder joint, will help improve punch power, but can also have a good impact on shoulder muscular endurance. The reason why the shoulders aren't as strong is because they are not loaded up as much because of the limitations of training the shoulders. Because most boxers have a limited range of motion and overhead stability, they can't get the right amount of load to try and improve the strength of the shoulders. So this is why at Boxing Science we take a very strategic approach by using some landmine variations. In this way, we can overload the shoulder without compromising that shoulder joint or looking to compensate in any way. We also do some overhead variations where we might do some seated dumbbell press, some seated overhead barbell press, and also doing some single arm dumbbell pressing from a half kneeling position. We also can look at improving muscular endurance a few different ways. We can do some supersets where we're doing a pressing exercise with a more isolated exercise, let's say a shoulder press paired with some lateral raises. And then also we can look at doing some BFR exercises. So blood flow restriction training that gets the muscles burning and then can help improve that strength endurance and that perception of fatigue in the muscle. So there's a few different things that you can do to help improve muscular endurance of the shoulders and the arms. Number 1, improve range of motion. Number 2, improve strength and stability around the posterior shoulder. Number 3, improve overall strength. And then target some strength endurance activities such as drop sets and supersets. Then also using some blood flow restriction training to help improve and get you used to feeling that burning sensation in the shoulders. Hopefully this has been beneficial. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comment box below. If you like this kind of video, hit the like button to help the growth of this video and help support the growth of the channel by hitting that subscribe button. And also you don't miss out on any future content. Thank you very much for watching. See you on the next video of Boxing Science.